Hello everybody, welcome to my garage. As you can probably tell, I never in my life thought I would be using my garage to record YouTube videos. But I guess a lot of things change when you get a Corvette. Hopefully one of these days I'll put some sort of wall or curtain or something over all those boxes in the background so it doesn't look as cluttered. But for now, let's just ignore the mess and focus on this red thing next to me. So, I've had the Corvette for about 2 months now, taking it out mostly on local drives to a couple car meets, out for a couple meals, to run some errands, and I love it. Now, I haven't really had a chance to play with a lot of things in the car yet, and frankly, the weather over this past month hasn't really allowed me to enjoy it nearly as much as I wanted to. But for now, I just wanted to share some of my first initial impressions of what it's like to own and drive a C4 LT1 Corvette. Okay, initial impression number 1. This car is an occasion. And that begins from the moment you try to get in and out of it. The door is massive, and so is the side sill that you have to climb over. Now, the process of getting in and out of the car really isn't as difficult as I had imagined it would be, based on some other videos I've watched posted by other C4 owners. But still, this is definitely not the kind of car you can just hop in and go. Now, driving it also takes some work. Being a 30-year-old car, it's definitely more raw and engaging than a lot of modern cars out on the road. It picks up speed very easily, and it allows you to feel very confident while driving while still requiring you to be focused, like a good sports car should. Now, this car is definitely not nearly as fast or as powerful as a lot of modern sports cars today, but who cares? I mean, the point of a sports car is not to brag about being faster than everybody else or having more horsepower than everybody else, but it's really to have fun and enjoy the driving experience. And this car definitely has more than enough power and speed for having fun. Plus, when you're sitting behind the wheel and you look at that digital speedometer and you see the big red hood out in front of you, you just feel like you're in a real-life video game. How can that not be fun? Number 2, this car is really, really low. Now, I've always known that driveways should be approached slowly and at an angle to avoid scraping, but I've always thought that would only really be a major problem for cars like Lambos and Ferraris, McLarens and stuff like that. And I was really surprised how easy it is to scrape this darn thing. I scraped it pulling it out of the shop just within minutes after I first picked it up. And I scraped it again just getting onto my own driveway to put the car in the garage. I had to go pick up some wood strips right away to use as a makeshift ramp just to be able to get the car on and off my driveway. Not only is the ride height low, the entire car is actually really low. One time I took it out and parked it next to a Toyota Camry, and I noticed the entire car was barely higher than the Camry's beltline. And the Camry is only just a regular sedan too. Now, if you're talking crossovers and SUVs and stuff like that, they start to look like big old semi-trucks when you're next to them. You gotta be really careful to make sure that they actually see you on the road. Alright, number 3. Interior quality and layout really isn't the best. Now, this shouldn't be surprising at all, given that this is, well, a 90s GM product. But yeah, there's a number of latches and switches that either don't work or that I'm afraid will break if I use them too much. My first car way back in the day was a early 90s Nissan, and the build quality was way better than this. Plus, in the Corvette, the cup holders are so shallow and so badly placed that they're practically useless. And storage is pitifully limited. This car's a 94, which means it came with a passenger side airbag, which also took the place of the glove box. So in terms of storage, really all you get are tiny little pockets on each door, and the center console, which is taken up pretty much entirely by the owner's manual. The trunk actually has a decent amount of space, but it's just very difficult to access, especially when the targa top is stored there. Now, I love that this car has both the body color top and the optional clear top. But when you're not using them, where the heck are you supposed to put them? Number 4, visibility from inside is actually incredibly good. I was really surprised by this. I've heard a lot of horror stories of sports cars and supercars that are impossible to see out of. This is definitely not one of them. Like I mentioned earlier, the view of the big hood out front is just incredible. And thanks to the car's boxy shape and the flared arches over the front wheels, you get a very confident sense of where you are on the road at all times. And plus, the view out the back is, dare I say, actually better than most sedans and SUVs, thanks to this big glass wraparound canopy. Even with the B-pillars here, they're really not all that intrusive, and for the most part, you get a very solid 360 view of what's going on around you at all times, which is really important when you're driving a car that's smaller than just about any other car on the road. Alright, number 5, last but not least. People everywhere love this car. And I gotta say, I don't like to show off, I don't like to attract attention. That's just not who I am. But when you're driving a 3-decade-old bright red sports car, you can't help but feel different and special, no matter where you're going. This car is not new, this car is not loud, this car is not old enough to be considered a cool classic, so you're not going to get people running down the street trying to take pictures of you, and that's good. I don't like that kind of attention. But when somebody does notice the car, it means they recognize it, they know what it is, and they love it. When I took it to get smog tested and to get new tires, it was an instant conversation starter. A lot of people don't realize that this car is now worth significantly less than most ordinary cars on the road now. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the Corvette is just such an unmistakable American icon. And pretty much anybody who was alive in the 80s and 90s recognizes the C4. Now I know a lot of people prefer other Corvette generations over the C4, and they have good reasons for that, I don't blame them. But there's just so few C4s, especially in excellent condition, out on the road today. And when you see a C4 Corvette in classic torch red, in excellent condition like this, driving on the road now, 30 years later, you can't help but smile. And that's especially true if you're the one that gets to hold the keys. Okay, so there you go. These are my first impressions of what it's like to own and drive an LT1 C4 Corvette. Of course, I can't forget to mention that the car is freaking sexy. But to me, that's self-explanatory. I don't need to make that a separate point. Anyway, I look forward to spending some more time with the car, getting to play with all the things I haven't had a chance to tinker with yet. For now, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to sharing more of my Corvette adventures.